Ding dong YouTube, welcome back to the channel. I am the Jobless Coder, and today I'm going to be going through an additional 75 policy positions within the Disney Party platform. This is the all-new Disney Party of Canada that I am running. We are going to take the Pirate Party of Canada and all of its former members and convert it to the Disney Party using the budget that I wrote. The budget's going to be open source. The budget will be open source, and everyone in the country will have a say on where these terminal stations will be located for the all-new Elon Musk underground Hyperloop system that will start as a project in Alberta, aka Texas of the North. So, we're going to go back into the Discord because the Government of Canada states you must list your policies and your budget publicly. So this is a public Discord. I'll give the link in the description below. And we're going to start where we left off last time with policy number 50. Policy 50. The Disney Party of Canada is asking that Elizabeth May dissolve her Green Party and be the first cabinet member of our government to jump ship. While the Green Party has spent the past 10 years trying to accomplish anything at all to help the Paris Climate Accords, the Disney Party is the only party with legitimate plans that use numbers and math, calculation, and the power of AI developed by a God-forbid American company to calculate. We will reduce the round-trip travel time across Alberta from 18.5 hours down to 3.5. This will allow Canada a strategic position to not only meet but greatly exceed the climate accords. We will not only be the most green country on Earth, but we won't have to burn fossil fuel to travel. And the infrastructure to support the high-speed rail will bring new opportunities for our energy sector in the South, using the power of a God-forbid American company to develop by the only man on Earth who seems to get funded to innovate. Solar City will build the world's largest array of solar panels across southern Alberta because, surprise, science is terrific too, and solar panels work under snow. Welcome to the all-new Pirate Party of Canada, soon to become the Disney Party of Canada. This is #PiratePolitics. And I got a link to the website right there. This is the only political party that Canada's ever had that ever advocated for innovation, science, and technology in the past. In the past, they had put forth some legislation over certain Bitcoin regulations that didn't make a whole lot of headway. But this policy platform that I'm running on is going to become the most popular policy platform for any government on planet Earth. I truly believe that. So I'm calling on all pirates to jump ship and climb aboard. We already have an officially registered party with a bunch of laughing emojis, and I tag Elon Musk in that, plus the previous video where you can see the first 50 policy platform positions. So we have now released everything that makes this party legal. And yet, everyone around me, friends and family, seem to think it's crazy talk and that I'm going off on the rails. I'm running a legitimate party, and we want to see if people want these policies. So, an additional 25 policies for the Disney Party platform. Policy 51. The Disney Party of Canada will invest $200 million United States dollars into bolstering the number 2 highway in central Alberta. They will not be paving roads in Ontario because Ontario does not have the most valuable stretch of highway system on planet Earth. I'm not joking. This will bring in 50,000 construction jobs to our province to start, and over time we can employ up to 500,000 construction workers in our province building Texas of the North. Hashtag 51st state, hashtag Alberta separation, hashtag Alberta Epcot. This stretch of highway that connects the cities of Edmonton, Red Deer, Calgary, and Fort Macleod is called, does anyone know what this highway in Alberta is called? This ain't rocket science, people. It's called the Queen Elizabeth Highway. Therefore, the Disney Party of Canada will pledge to construct a Route 66 inspired stretch of highway system along the number 2 highway that attracts tourists. The Disney party will allocate $10 million into erecting monuments to the monarchy. Hashtag God Save the King. And God forbid we respect our royalty. At both ends of our highway system, this will allow a $5 million for each construction project that will employ British citizens. We will employ British citizens to design and build these statues. Canada will offer the world a monument dedicated to Her Majesty the Queen. Hashtag rest her soul. At the north end of this highway system in Edmonton. And in the south, they will build a monument dedicated to Princess Louise Caroline, Alberta. And when Americans are asking themselves, who in the fuck is the Duchess of Agril? It will be teaching them our history. Because they haven't been able to capitalize on our stories. And they don't even know that we have hundreds of years worth of stories. So maybe they should research the Duchess of Agril and why it's important to Alberta. We aren't just going to give them everything for free now, are we? These are our stories that we're marketing to Disney. And these are the spoilers. They don't get to know why the Duchess of Agril is important to Alberta unless they come out to Lake Louise. Ha ha ha. Policy 52. The Disney Party of Canada hereby calls upon the members from the NDP to join our movement. The Labour Party of the Workers wants to build a freaking Disneyland park here. Do you want to be suicidally stupid? The NDP will agree on our terms because Alberta pledges to bring in 1 million construction jobs to our province over the next 10 years. And the NDP, they're the Labour Party. Do you want jobs or do you want to lose jobs? The NDP will also comply with our demands because of their gay leader. Will be getting a $50 million gay bar and social club for the LGBT built in the community of Lethbridge, Alberta. Club Didi. Hashtag Lethbridge Pride. The most pride-friendly city in our province. And if Calgarians are wondering why are they building it down in Lethbridge and why not here in Calgary, they gotta come down to our festival next summer in Lethbridge. The Disney Party of Canada will invest 10 million United States dollars into bolstering the Pride events for Lethbridge 2026 next summer. Because Calgary, you don't have DJ Rabbit. And we do. Hashtag Pride 2026. And everyone seems to be clueless as to where the value propositions lie. Policy number 53. The Disney Party of Canada will invest $50 million into building an additional gay and pride club that includes a gym. This will be built in the ghost town of Blackie, Alberta. Why do you ask? Because Blackie, Alberta is the film location for a movie called Brokeback Mountain, a gay cowboy movie whose target demographic was us. And take a wild guess who owns a building. The building that was used as a film's location for one of the scenes in the movie. My uncle owns this building. My uncle, my personal family uncle, owns a building that was used in a Hollywood movie about gay cowboys in Lethbridge. Nope, not Lethbridge, in Blackie, Alberta. And the movie was targeted to us, Albertans. Yeehaw from Calgary. YYCA. Hashtag separation. Policy 54. The Disney Corporation will invest. Math. 2 plus 2 equals 5. They will invest $50 million into the town of Blackie, Alberta, building the underground tunnel station for Blackie, Alberta. The town of Blackie will work with Elon Musk and the Boring Company to survey the land. I already know exactly where they can only construct because there are obstacles all around and I consulted everyone. And the locals were interviewed and they were consulted. A 100-acre plot of land will be acquired by the Disney Corporation in the town of Blackie, Alberta. Disney will fund all construction projects for the town of Blackie, Alberta. This is a non-negotiable term. On behalf of the LGBT, because Canada is about to fix their LGBT problem, when the LGBT find out they aren't building any gay social clubs in Canada, they chose to build the park out in the Middle East. Hashtag Islam. If a country that has more money than God can't accept that a Canada is fulfilling our pledge to America to shore up the northern border, then the United Arab Emirates needs to provide more incentive, a better value proposition to Disney. And they don't have the most valuable stretch of highway system on planet Earth. Us Canadians do. Hashtag elbows up. Shield emoji. It'll be a great prototype test to figure out how much fuel we're wasting to move 500 people from Blackie to Lethbridge for political negotiation talks. These people have to drive 30 minutes into Okotoks just to find a gas station that's serviceable. I had my car break down out here once during commute back from for Christmas one year. It was like a 5-hour process trying to bring fuel out to my car. And Americans wonder why everyone up here is addicted to drugs, because life is living hell. I got a ride to the city with a local resident. He looked like Santa. Why Santa? Why is that an important detail in my story? Does anyone know anything at all? Santa's Canadian. Ha 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 ha. And then I include a post here that reads, Santa's official postal code in Canada is HOHOHO. Ho ho ho. The code is part of the address of Santa Claus North Pole, Canada. Children can write to Santa using this address, and Canada Post volunteers will respond in the same language as their letter was written. And it includes shipping for Canada and United States. So there you go. Santa Claus is Canadian. And who is John Galt? This Christmas, at Santa Decide will vote for our Disneyland park. Yuppie! Why? Because he's been asking Elon Musk for the at Santa tag. If he does this for the Canada Disney Party, we'll negotiate with Elon Musk to get Santa Decides his at Santa tag that he wants. And that'll be his Christmas gift. Merry Christmas to Santa. Policy 56. The Disney Party will invest the allocated $10 billion. The Disney Party will advocate that Disney invest their allocated $10 billion US budget to build the park in the Middle East, and they invested in Canada instead. And they would be economically suicidal to say no. That will give Canadians $5 billion United States dollars per location. $5 billion to developing the world's largest authentic teepee village in Siksika. And an additional $5 billion will be allocated to the 100-acre plot of land out in Blackie, because this Middle East doesn't have the most valuable stretch of highway system on planet Earth, and we do. And can you tell me why Disney would be interested in Halloween unless your eyeballs malfunctioned? I include a link here to prove my point. The link is an article from CBC about Albertans may have been the first to say trick or treat. That is a fact. The phrase trick or treating is a Canadian coined term that first appeared printed in newspaper, I believe in 1927, in the town of Blackie, Alberta. So Disney, a company that, hello, are your eyeballs broken? Spends money at Halloween, marketing Halloween, could build an entire Halloween-themed ghost town attraction in the town of Blackie, Alberta, that would exist as part of the larger Epcot, Alberta infrastructure. And then my game studio, produced by a game that brings me no money. I produced a game that brings me no money. This game is about Halloween. This game is about Halloween. We could offer VR stations inside of the theme park where kids can play this VR game that I developed, because it's not making any money on Steam right now. Disney, do you want stories or not? Farmers in Canada are not going to like hearing that we, God forbid, sacrifice farmland to build anything interesting up here. And they will twist themselves up into a pretzel over this because the farming industry is regulated to hell. But that is why, necessarily baked into these trade negotiations, are protections for the rights of farmers. Disney will allocate money for part of the handout budget that is balanced and gives everyone what they need and want, but you must give something first. They will fund the retirement of any and all farmers who lose income, as well as pledge to bolster our food banks year after year to offset the loss of productive farmland. I consulted one farmer who said, and I quote, "We can't sacrifice land here. It's worth trillions of dollars per hectare. If farmland is more valuable than Disney, why are we broke?" America will agree to this, or the Disney party will impose excessive counter tariffs on the cattle imports until they comply. Susan Seninol, the CEO of our A&W Canada restaurants, will be at war with Kevin Bainzer over beef by Christmas, because this American based business gets 100% of their beef from Canada, Alberta beef. And it's in their marketing campaigns too. Ha 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 ha. But if the Trump administration will not comply, A&W in America will get nothing. Policy number 57. The Canadian government will invest $50 billion into fixing their mental health problems, because Canadian-based doctors who are immigrant workers are incarcerating Canadian-born citizens in jail for the crime of having big, crazy ideas. Because Canadians think big is psychotic or schizophrenic delusions of grandeur. I do not want to run a country, I want to make games. But if the Alberta Health Services, including the Red Deer Regional Hospital, are abusing patients and driving them to suicide, we would have more problems than money up here too. I had a $25 item that was stolen. It was stolen from me by the fucking hospital. When I asked for it back, they had zero clue where it went and acted like it was just okay. They thought I was a crazy person because I was reporting that a robbery had happened. I'm being legally stolen from and robbed by my government-run programs. Therefore, policy number 58. The Disney Party of Canada will issue orders in council to the clerk of the Privy Council and His Majesty the King that the RCMP, with the help of the FBI, conduct a full criminal investigation into management of our hospitals, especially with focus on mental health. And that is a non-negotiable term. Mr. Trump and his FBI will agree to provide FBI levels of resources to this project, because whatever they learn will help Elon engineer the new mega hospital, such that people aren't murdered for seeking help. I witnessed a mentally ill and clearly suffering man get legally charged with assault this past January because he threw a bag of potato chips at the nurse. And they beat him in the back like a caged wild animal. He was screaming like a monkey. Policy number 59. The Disney Party of Canada will advocate that the Disney Corporation invest 50,000 United States dollars into the reconstruction of the Ogopogo Monument on the lakeside of Okanagan, BC. This monument is used to be a tourist destination for the residents of BC. It also was the #1 calling card for a grassroots movement such as this. I'm going to put this picture everywhere. When Canadians see this picture, their eyeballs will pop from their sockets. The Ogopogo monument in Kelowna was built in the 1960s by artist Peter Solin, but it wasn't replaced until its current location in Carey Park until 1998. The infrastructure developed was shut down in 2019. They closed it down and tore it down. The city is now planning to use taxpayer dollars to fund its reconstruction. And there's some articles on the Ogopogo being reconstructed, the articles from February of this year. Therefore, Disney will pay for it and will employ, and this is a non-negotiable term, they will employ for 50,000 United States dollars a Vancouver-based Indigenous artist to design it. That will give one of our citizens a job with money. Policy 60. The Disney Party of Canada will advocate that the Disney Corporation invest 10 million United States dollars into bolstering the support and infrastructure for Scandia Golf and Games in Kelowna, BC. But trade negotiations, Canadians, wake up. This will come with heavy, heavy strings attached, and this is non-negotiable. Disney, you will not be permitted to Disneyfy this development, because I have a game, a God forbid game idea that could be funded based on this park's original design. They already have a castle and it's perfect. You don't need to build anything or change it at all. Disney will be permitted to sell merchandise in the gift shop. They will also allow this business to fund the replacement of their failing infrastructure after the business was flooded in 2017. This will allow them to build additional bathrooms to support all of their new tourists, because I'll be able to produce for them a, God forbid, profitable game based on their original design of their mini golf course. Policy number 61. The Disney Party of Canada will advocate for a $50 million investment of infrastructure in the town of Scandia, Alberta, and Disney will construct a second location for the Scandia Golf and Games franchise. In Scandia, Alberta, based not on Disney's ideas, it will be based on the ideas that were inspired by our Canadian original design. Hashtag elbows up. Policy 62. The Disney Party of Canada will invest $50 million into the town of Scandia, Alberta. They will use this money to construct the underground terminal station for the Elon Musk moonshot boring project, the Hyperloop system, which centralized distances between Lethbridge and Drumheller. This will attract new tourists to Lake Noel, the prime location near Brooks Aqueduct, another tourist destination not properly being serviced. Disney will invest 100 million United States dollars into Fernie, into a ferry and a canoe transit lines across the lake of Lake Noel Resort, as they already have a marina. You don't need to build it entirely from scratch. You just need to support what we already have. That will allow transport of people across Lake Noel over to the resort on the other side by the marina. Policy 63. The Disney Party of Canada will invest 50 million United States dollars into the town of Waterloo, BC. Waterloo will be expected to construct one underground Hyperloop terminal station, and there is a building infrastructure already here not being serviced. It's called the Prince of Wales Hotel. Guests of this hotel are offered easy access to Alpine Stables, Ltd., where Disney can offer scenic horseback rides up the mountain, and to their south of this massive hotel no one actually sleeps in, you'll have access to the historic and scenic town below, with a lake. Policy 64. The Canadian Pacific Railway is a strategic, at Real Trump, this is a strategic military defense asset. Alberta is currently calculating its worth for the liquidation sale of our country, or at least our province. Because the Liberals are allergic to math. I include a video here. 2 + 2 = 5. It's a music video. It's pretty good. At ChatGPT, Policy 65. Research for the Disney Party campaign message will utilize the power of ChatGPT, a God forbid American tech company, and we will conduct all future research going forward into the budget using the power of artificial intelligence. Fucking innovation by Elon Musk. It was innovated by Elon Musk. Policy position number 66. The Disney Party will suggest a bill enshrined into law that the power of AI technology developed by Elon be utilized for budget research, and that we will argue with the opposition at the federal level for more development in our AI research. But we won't be building them up north to plug into our oil sector. Danielle Smith, you get nothing. The only politician I voted for who actually won, who actually promised change, and we trusted her. The Disney Party will offer her no money at all for oil because 100% of the budget needs to be for green energy and electric. Because we are building electric rail lines through Alberta using Elon Musk's technology. Policy number 67. The reason it's a better value proposition to build data servers down south in Lethbridge and not way up north, distance, and Canadians are allergic to math. The Disney Party will therefore advocate at the federal level for massive amounts of spending in tech infrastructure in Lethbridge to build data servers for the province of Alberta. Citizens of your country can afford high-end cameras. I'm living in a socialist shithole, setting legitimate government policy from a Chinese-produced web camera worth 20 Canadian dollars, and the quality is shit. Policy number 68 of the Disney Party platform. This is a non-negotiable term. Kevin O'Leary, you get nothing. Absolutely nothing. Because the Canadian businessman, this Canadian businessman, is so monumentally stupid, he would suggest Canadians go to election for a majority Carney budget. He wanted a majority Carney budget. Canadians everywhere this election cycle need to be asking the RCAF, our military, what is the return on investment of $80 billion of American-produced warplanes? Was that measured in dollars per hour to pocket or body bags per minute? And if he gets his tizzies in a knot that he can't, God forbid, lose money once in his life on an investment, too bad. Disney will accept $0 worth of money from Mr. Wonderful. And that will be a non-negotiable term, because this is the balanced budget for 2025 that gets you everything that you need and you want, plus so much more, but you will be required to give something first. Kevin is also an equally monumentally stupid for suggesting that we build data servers in the north, which would make sense to him if he understood distance and math. We should build them in the south, Kevin. And he can't do math. He's Canadian, and they're allergic. At Microsoft, at City of Lethbridge. Policy 69. The Disney Party of Canada will table legislation to legalize AWOO. Hashtag OWO. Password Tom. For over a decade, our politicians have spent their careers pretending to be serious, while acting completely clownish and delivering results a toddler can see as stupid. Too many stupid ideas. The Disney Party of Canada therefore pledges to pretend to be goofy while delivering serious fucking results. Why Goofy, you ask? Because Goofy is a, quote, multi-billion-dollar asset when considering long-term contribution across merchandising, parks, and media. That's a quote from Grok. So according to Grok, and I've tagged Elon Musk as well. And Canadians are allergic to math. Classified information. Server EX69 will be reserved for classified ongoing research of the all-new MUFON Canadian headquarters in the town of St. Paul, Alberta, at the world's first UFO museum, which will be LEO branded. Policy 70. Seeing as the Canadian Pacific Railway lies directly along the path of the most valuable stretch of highway system on planet Earth, as the U.S. increases spending bolstering their defenses up north with the Alberta-Texas North Project, the entire rest of this failing communist shithole will be wondering, who is John Galt? And I include a reference in a link to a YouTube video for the trial of Hank Rearden, Part 2 from Atlas Shrugged. If Albertans, for God knows for whatever reason, vote no on leaving, all have a legitimate asylum claim in the United States of America for the crime of trying to start and conduct business. Mr. Trump will be expected to use US dollars level of infrastructure along our rail system, which just happens to also run through the town of Didsbury and Olds near the airport from which the underground terminal station will reside. For the all-new international airport that will alleviate cloggage at the YYC International Airport, and we could actually achieve that goal. Policy 72. Mr. Trump will have the world's largest museum of... What is this museum of? This isn't rocket science, people! It's a museum of, God forbid, American-manufactured cars! Canada, why are we not doing business with our closest trading partners? You need to Google the Reynolds Museum in Taskowin, Alberta. And the NASCAR track too. At Elon, welcome to Texas North. The money to fund the NASCAR track will come from 100% of Trump's personal funds. This money is not included in part of our handout calculations. This one's on him, and this is a non-negotiable term. Why? Number one, lest our handout budget exceed 5%, God forbid, because a fucking NASCAR track is ridiculously expensive to construct. And also, two, he just fucked the entire tech sector everywhere else on this planet, hashtag H1B. Not to mention our auto sector, so we get a NASCAR track for free. Thank you, Mr. Trump. Merry Christmas. If Elon wants to build and innovate, perhaps Elon needs to be the one issuing the executive orders to get our government and out of our way so that we can do business the Canadian way. Why is this the only economic opportunity for game development in the area has ever been EA Games? BioWare Edmonton. EA, ranked one of the worst American companies of all time, and it still is, a 16-hour drive away for the EA headquarters out in Vancouver. Seeing as the Trump personal family just invested in this company, maybe he'd like to construct a new game studio in our province connected to the NASCAR track. The world's largest museum of American-manufactured automobiles sits right next door to the Edmonton Raceway up in Wetaskiwin. It's like a 5-minute drive or less away. Maybe he'd like to come and see all the cool shit all over our province and give him the personal tour. I'll give him the tour for free. And then I link a video previously on this series where I proved the point that it's illegal to in Canada to turn profit from a business, sending an SOS to real Donald Trump. Trump will get to see the world's largest Easter egg, too. Elon Musk, welcome to Texas North. The East thinks this is a joke, but they don't have the most valuable stretch of highway system maintained anywhere on Earth, and they think we have nothing in Alberta. Prime travel and site locations for Trump and Bob Iger and Elon Musk to come see. Lake Louise, Canmore and Banff, Vegreville, Alberta, that's the location of the Easter egg. Callaway Park, that's the amusement park that's closed half of the year. Scandia Golf and Games out in Kelowna. And Canadian tax dollars will fund the entire expenses of this tour with, God forbid, tax money. Can anyone tell me without why whining and dining Trump for a month before Christmas across the most breathtaking frozen terrain is an investment? Duh! But he won't get any of this unless we all agree on something. And this is the balanced budget for 2025 that will give you everything that you need and you want, but you are required to give something first. If the Canadian taxpayer can't expect that a world-class tour through the Rockies 1 month before Christmas is too much to play nice with the godforsaken orange man, who has a stable economy, then he won't get any of it at all. And that is a non-negotiable term. Trump will be investing in property all over Alberta while the rest of you whine and bitch about money. Ha ha ha. As Disney will be expected to reimburse the Canadian taxpayer 100% of the operational expenses for this year's budget on the godforsaken socialist feel-good policy, the Canadian Pacific Holiday Train. Because taxpayers shouldn't be paying for businesses that don't generate profit. That is a non-negotiable term. They will use the tax money to wine and dine Trump, and tax will get to see with his own eyes our socialist program. And why it's important to me. Why? Because Christmas, that's why. And if that's too much to ask, no one gets anything at all, as this is the budget that is balanced and makes sense lest you be a psychopath. It will get you everything that you need and you want, but you will be required to give something first. The world's largest trestle bridge. Trump will get to see from the world's largest trestle bridge, the Canadian Pacific Holiday Train. The God forbid feel-good socialist policy, and I attach a link to the Reynolds Museum. Policy 73, the Disney Party of Canada will request America provide more avenues and escape lines for tech workers in our socialist country to flee lest we all wither away and die up here. And it will be prosecuted for the crime of thinking too much, starting with addressing the unemployment crisis for tech workers in Alberta, especially after BioWare, a division of EA Games, went under this year, putting 600 tech workers into food bank lines. Trump will agree with Canadian budget this year, or he is going to have the largest movement on Steam, an American God forbid corporation, against him. We'll start a grassroots movement on Steam, and it'll be unstoppable with the power of Steam. Because I can't retain United States dollars for my work. It's sold on Steam in US dollars, but our bank system bleeds us dry. I've been stolen from by 6 different fucking financial institutions up here, and I can't get justice for anything. I don't want to think about money. I want to think about innovation. Policy 74. The Disney party will be auctioning off property across Alberta. If that upsets you, if that gets your tizzies in a knot, too fucking bad. The homeless man set the budget this year, starting with the McDonald's, an American corporation, the McDonald's in Canmore. $1 trillion. Hey NVIDIA, would you like to build your new mega chip factory in Canmore? Seeing as this one singular American business is worth more than our entire economy, perhaps they would like the Canadian-based tech talent with views of the Rockies. I hereby seek asylum in the country of NVIDIA, the nation of NVIDIA. If Canada isn't a real country anymore, then why not apply for asylum and live in the nation of NVIDIA? When Parks Canada hears my plan to God forbid we build anything here, and it infringe upon their sacred holy ground, DEI employees and tree huggers are gonna implode. It would make sense if you understood math. If you tell farmers anywhere nearby the town of Olds or Didsbury Airport that we should develop an airport here, lest we build anything worth value on their sacred holy ground, their brains will implode. But this is the balanced budget for 2025 that gets you everything you need and you want and require, but you are expected to give something first. Policy 75 of the Disney Party platform. The Disney Party of Canada will be spending $20 billion of our defense budget, allocating $10 billion United States dollars each worth of infrastructure to the ports in Halifax and Vancouver. The Disney Party of Canada will negotiate in trade terms with America for our very first battleship. And we will invest an additional $20 billion into that additional submarines. But here is the catch, because this is the balanced budget that gets you what you want and you need, but you are required to give something first. The whole world wants to know what Lockheed acquired from Bob Bigelow. They don't have to tell anyone shit. It's their private property. LOL. Alright, the Disney Party of Canada will cancel any and ongoing further projects with Lockheed for their fighter jets, and we will shut down our factories that supply the parts for them too. And if that's too much of an ask to find out anything at all about aliens, lest we learn shit, the UFO Museum in St. Paul, serving as the new Canadian MUFON headquartered north, won't be erecting a display honoring the legacy of a God forbid American businessman, radio host Art Bell. Welcome to the Disney Christmas election. And American truckers who supported us during COVID lockdown torture will have incentive to come and visit the Art Bell exhibit at the Canadian MUFON headquarters north in St. Paul, Alberta, and contribute to our economy. Welcome to the Disney Christmas election, where everyone gets their Christmas presents under the tree or everyone gets coal. At Santa Decides is going to decide this election whether or not we get a Christmas or we get a fucking war over land and resources, because Canadians are allergic to math, and while all of the politicians have been shoving their fingers up their butt for 6 months, I've been working on a budget and a plan that makes sense. I just need more help planning it out, making it more formal, making it more accurate. That's why I'm asking for help from people. But my friends refuse to help me, so I'm utilizing the technology of AI at the moment to achieve these goals. If you've made it this far through the video, I thank you for listening, and I hope to see you in the next one when I issue an additional 25 policy platform positions in the Disney Party platform, leading us up to a sum total of 100 platform positions. Thank you for watching, and I hope that you vote Disney.